Hello everyone, welcome to Rizzo Rink here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where we are about to get set for a doubleheader on this Wednesday night, as per usual, as we enter and close week 6 of the PBLA season for the 2026 campaign. I'm Caden Stewart. I'll be your solo voice for today's doubleheader in Game 1, coming up in just a few moments between the Beerwolves at 0-4 and the Edge at 1-5, a rematch of opening week in which the Edge got their only win of the season thus far against the same Beerwolves team that is looking to get their first win of the season as well. The nightcap will be the 1-5 Revolution taking on the 3-3 Outlaws. We'll get to that when we come to it. The Beerwolves and Edge, two of the lesser talked about defenses, but both sides coming in with strong goaltending. The Beerwolves only conceding 6 goals on Monday night in their most recent loss to the Revolution, who also got their first win of the season against this Beerwolf team, being a 6-4 loss, but still a strong showing by the defense and goaltending as a whole. We'll begin this one with a running clock. Lawrence versus a 16 of Las Vergata in the main circle. Is the ensuing face-off as it's sent into the far corner. It'll be Edge ball played off the wall. Lawrence wins it, and the Edge now pry it loose and will take it away with the number 91 of Jason Smarin leading the charge. Smarin on a feed to Clemser, end-to-end across the circle. Clemser now gives it right back for Jack. Now Clemser in the bottom of the circle. Clemser shot to Smarin, who fired one with a hand up. It was denied by the starting goaltender in the 99 of Joshua Hammer. And we have an early penalty here that will go against the Edge for a slash. So it's a 2-minute minor against Julian to finish for slashing. The game stays scoreless. The Beerwolves have their first chance on offense now. Ensley directs traffic, finds Las Vergata, a shot pushed wide, the rebound back, and the Beerwolves play it off the far wall. Now Winters in the middle. Winters' shot again kicked out, and Tom O'Hagan makes 2 saves to begin this one. So O'Hagan versus Hammer in net. Ensley centering, one-hop shot, save made by O'Hagan. Rebound was kicked loose for a moment, and Mackey nearly closed the gap fast. Got there in time, but couldn't get a shot off. Now backpedaling to Gabriel Bonner to Ensley. Double pump shot, save made O'Hagan. Rebound loose in the crease, and O'Hagan's on it cleanly. As the ball was jarred loose for a second, but Tom O'Hagan closes the door there. Edge ball with Brian Andrews. Penalty nearly halfway there. Andrews kicks it out, driving in, and now spinning back was Okupski, who slips down as he gets back to his feet, but lost the ball, and the Beerwolves take it. Ensley through the main circle to the near face-off circle on the feed. It's at the 18 of Bonner. Bonner back in a shot, they score. The Beerwolves strike first. It'll be Bonner on the assist. The goal came from the far side. Waiting on the official number. And it will be the 8 of Frank Haney to make it 1-0 Beerwolves. Ensuing faceoff goes the way of the Edge. Shot from DeFinis, pushed wide, fresh off the box, looking for a chance to bounce back there. Just off the mark. Is now taking it to the 39 of Richard Nelson. Nelson to DeFinis. She thought about another one, keeps it, now fires again. Save made, rebound back toward DeFinis, who couldn't scoop it. The rebound still loose between the circles, now pried away by the Beerwolves with a 2-on-1. Beerwolf ball, shot, save O'Hagan, rebound in the crease, taken away by the Edge. It was Sean Walsh who was on it for a moment. Fires over the top of his defensive captain and Max Polcini. Will go all the way back down to the corner. And the Edge will be forced to reset, but on the defensive side. 11:25 to play now in the first. Mac Ensley in the main circle. Into the middle, Las Vergata on target, save made. And the rebound back to the Edge. Nelson to the main line. Nelson cutting end to end, now going toward the far side of the floor. Sidearm toss to Okupski. Okupski for DeFinis. Sutter stepping and now finding Okupski in the corner. Lacrosse beneath the clock behind the net. pressured out. Okupski still looking for help. Back to the middle. Shot by Gillespie blocked down, and it takes a hop and goes off the far netting out of play. 10:45 now to play in the first period. The Beerwolves will redo it again. Ensley pickpocketed, recovered by Mackey. The Beerwolves hold it. Mackey in deep, back to the middle for Winters. Pass blocked down. Still loose and then scooped up by Bonner. Bonner in the near circle. Toward the top now, and he plays it to Haney. Frank Haney, the lone goal scorer so far, over the head of Winters to the far side of the floor to Bonner. Bonner a shot, and it scores! Bonner is able to beat O'Hagan just inside the left side of the net, and it's a 2-0 lead. The Edge would have had a 2-minute minor penalty wiped out that would have been against the bench for an illegal sub. It is washed out due to the goal, so it stays a 2-0 lead for the Beerwolves if we stay 5-on-5 as well. Clemser a shot kicked out and deflected straight up off the ceiling and out of play. Hammer able to make the save and last touch by the Beerwolves. Edge ball now to finish with a shot, save made and scooped up. Hammer make sure that there's no rebound and the Beerwolves take it away. Ensley across the midline with help. Haney serving his set help along the right side, looking back for Ensley, who was cutting in toward the net, couldn't have it. Behind the back play in triple coverage, he scores. Mac Ensley with a chaotic shot to make it 3-0. Haney's second early point as well, and he complements it behind the back toss to the net by Mac Ensley, which just happens to beat O'Hagan to the top right shoulder. Okupski gets the recovery on the main ensuing face-off for the Edge. Okupski to the top of the nearest circle, out across over the head of Gillespie, and to the far side they go. Nelson gives to Okupski yet again. Okupski between the circles, steps back, looking for help. Unable to find any there. Lost the ball as well. Ball still fought for. Up in the air, now back into the stick of Okupski. Shot clock to 5 now. Shot from the far side, wide of the 99 of Hammer. It goes all the way back down toward O'Hagan for a violation against the Edge. Mackey resumes play with a pass to Ensley. Ensley steps back to the far wall. Ensley now Winters, Winters spins, pressured out. Winters pump fakes behind the back, keeps it himself, and gives it back to Ensley. Ensley drives. So again, backhand shot is denied by O'Hagan. The rebound up in the air and pulled down by the Edge, with 2 defenders in the area, Bonner being one of them. And now the Edge will come away cleanly. DeFinis takes it. Good work there by Nelson to keep the ball well in his grasp. Up the floor again they go. An open chance in front, but it was knocked away. As waiting for it was Marin, who couldn't squeeze it. Pass to the far side now, in front of the Blue Cross sign. Up the floor to Nelson. Nelson, the shot is in for a goal. It caught the pad of Hammer for a moment, but it does fall in, and the Edge are on the board with a goal from the 39 of Richard Nelson. On the ensuing draw, Lawrence again sends it the way of the Edge offense, with the ball lofted up in the air by Mackey. It's sent backwards toward the Edge, so they'll resume play with Calhoun sending it up the floor. Calhoun on the give. Okupski directs traffic and now plays it in space. Gillespie cutting in to go over his head and instead into the hands of DeFinis. DeFinis around the blue line. DeFinis spins into the near circle. DeFinis a shot on target, kicked out, and the save made by Hammer. Covered by Gillespie. Gillespie back to DeFinis. Wants a 4th shot on goal early. Fends it up. It's fought off there as played off the wall by Okupski instead, taken away nearly by Walsh, but instead by Mac Ensley and the Beerwolves. And then here come the Beerwolves on offense. Ensley streaking in toward the net. Drops back now, waits for some help, has two edge defenders on him. Now all 5 in the area on Ensley. The ball finally jarred loose. Ensley to the floor, and that'll be a penalty against the edge with extra contact there on Ensley. Or at least a foul, they'll say. Now Calhoun comes on for defense, and he'll be the 5th man for the edge. So we'll stay even strength. It looks like a possible penalty, but they will just say foul, and the right call it was. Winters beneath the net, a quick touch toward it. It was knocked away. Las Vergata gets the lone touch there in the possession. So the edge, don't take it away. Smarin through the main line. Smarin with contact, keeps his footing. Smarin in toward the net, spinning, firing, shooting, and scoring is Glemser. The edge now back within 1 as Jack Glemser with a brilliant assist from Smarin makes it 3-2. I mean, ensuing face off the edge, had it for a moment. That was Lawrence who gave it to Sean Walsh. Walsh laid down his shoulder and got some space out of it. And a work possession back to the edge. Just good play by him off the draw. Next pass to Smarin in the main line. Smarin around the blue line. Smarin cutting in, looking for Lawrence, who couldn't squeeze it as well. And now Mac Ensley and the Beerwolves take it away. Ensley on the feed to Haney. Haney holding, finding Bonner. Bonner pumps, now gives Mackey to the top of the circle. Mackey holding, spinning, shooting, saving is O'Hagan. The rebound back out toward Bonner is denied, and here comes Smarin in the edge. 2-on-1 for the edge offense. Smarin looks, fires, and is saved again by the 99 of Hammer, who also added some contact there. That was Mackey, and the Beerwolves clear the area. Winters in on goal. He scores! 4-2 Beerwolves as Winters came striking into the net, and he makes it again a 2-goal game. Off the ensuing face off the ball in the direction of the edge. Okupski plays it up the floor to Sean Walsh. Walsh pumps, drives, shot, score! Sean Walsh was on the board, and it's a 4-3 game as the edge formulated a quick answer. Walsh unassisted right off a draw, brings the edge back within 1 for the game. 2:35 now to play in the first period. Off the next face-off, it's Beerwolf ball. Taking with some contact off the draw, William Murdoch. Murdoch gives again. Michael Wadley plays it against the far wall. Las Vergata in the mix as well. Pass across to Smarin between the blue line and main circle. Smarin to the Finnis. The Finnis winds up sidearm shot, save made. Rebound is loose and played by Haney, who clears the area in front of Hammer. Frank Haney against the far wall with 1:55 on the game clock in the first period. Ensley to his left, he goes there. Ensley now drops back a step, looking for help, finds it, gives to Winters. Winters, ball up in the air, still loose, pulled down nearly by the edge. They couldn't squeeze it. Rebound taken away by Anderson now. Anderson tied up, 2 defenders on him. Ball again jarred loose. A second edge player in the mix as well, that being the 9 of Bailey Orhosky, but neither one can get on it enough to get a clean shot off. Beerwolves jar it loose. It's Bonner in the near circle. Bonner gives to Winters, who returns the favor to Ensley. Ensley pressured out. Good contact there by the edge defense. Shot off the mark. On one hopping out the far wall. And now ball still loose. Taken away by Friedman. Friedman on goal. He scores! Streaking toward the net was Julian Friedman, and the Edge have scored 4 in the last 5 in the game to make it a tie. Again, physical defense going the way of the Edge. They pry the ball loose, and they're able to come away with a score from it. .34 and 33 coming off the clock in this first period. A 4-4 game now with the goal from Friedman. The Beer Wolves along the far wall this time with speed and space. Ricky Amorum to the middle. Shot. They score. A much-needed answer as Amorum finds Las Pregada. A timeout is called from the far end of the floor on the Beer Wolf bench. 19.1 to go in the first period. It's a one-goal affair. Off the ensuing face-off, Lawrence had it for a moment, but instead is taken away by Gillespie. Gillespie pressured out, so goes up the floor. DeFinis has it. DeFinis knocked down, lost the ball. Hand is up. DeFinis down. Looking to get back to his feet, slow to do so. The Beer Wolves will pry it loose. Up the floor they go. Whipped shot off the mark by O'Hagan. The rebound loose for a moment, but not long enough for a clean enough the Beer Wolves shot. We're through 15 here at Rizzo Ring. 30 more to come in game one. The Beer Wolves leading 5-4 thanks to a late goal by Las Pregada. .15 in the books, 30 to come at Rizzo Rink. A running clock to begin this second set of 15 minutes here. The Beer Wolves in the edge by a score of 5-4. Chris Las Pregada in the final 20 seconds added that go-ahead goal for the Beer Wolves as they kill a scoring streak for the Edge. They had scored 4 in the previous 5 leading up to that goal. Now one goal affair is Smarin looking to answer. He does just that. The Edge tied up in the early goings here in the second as Smarin makes it 5-5. .10 to go in the second now. A backwards pass played toward Joshua Hammer. And Hammer will now feed to the near side. Sean Walsh in the near circle. Walsh out across. Double pump shot. They score again. Back to back for the Edge in the first 60 seconds of play. This time it's Glemser from Walsh. 2 early points for Sean Walsh to make it 6-5 edge. (13-15) now in the second period. Off the draw is Richard Nelson with possession. Nelson to Sean Walsh, who fouled it, and now has it played on 2 hops to Chris Calhoun. And Calhoun to the finish, who returns the favor to Walsh. Walsh directs traffic, and then feeds to Nelson. Nelson in the near circle to the far end of the floor. And now back to the middle over the head of Smarin. Chance in front denied. And the rebound back toward Nelson. Shot out to 3 into 2. Ball loose. And there will not be a shot for the edge. Beerwolf ball now off Aspergata across the midline. Aspergata gives to Winters in the main circle. And Winters finds Mac Ensley now. Ensley beneath the clock, behind the net to the middle. A shot saved. And maybe now they'll say it went past the waiting hands of what I believe is now Eric Young in net in a goaltender change, and it is. So Young comes in net for the edge now in relief of O'Hagan. Yes, let's play now in the main circle. Shot again saved by the constant goaltender in Joshua Hammer for the Beerwolves. As I was saying, they got through the hands of O'Hagan and off the back netting out of play. Last touch by the Beerwolves. Beerwolves offense though gets it back quickly, a one and done for the edge in the previous possession, and so Mac Ensley will direct traffic around the blue line. Ensley has Haney cutting in front of him, sets the pick, fires a shot, save made. O'Hagan rebound loose, and it is gloved down by O'Hagan. 2 strong saves, and the Beerwolves are denied at the doorstep. Now contact at the other end of the floor as an edge player was taken down. It was deemed too much on Mackey. So the edge will keep it here. DeFinis to the far circle. DeFinis a shot. He scores! 3 in a row go home for the edge, and it's 7-5. .10:40 to play in the second period. Off the draw, the Beerwolves take it. Ensley has the pass intercepted by his teammate in Foster. Now Rob Foster on the feed of Aspergata, who answers the bell again. 7-6 in a high-scoring first half as Aspergata for the second time adds his name to the score sheet. Foster will get credit for the assist on the play as the ball up in the air on the ensuing draw, taken away by Sean Walsh. Lawrence in the mix as well, but Walsh clearing the area. Now waiting some help on the offensive side of things for the edge. He'll get it here. Andrews now plays it to the DeFinis. DeFinis in the main circle. Holding, directing traffic. DeFinis drives in, now goes toward the net, but it's off the stick of an edge player. And then played back in by the same player in Gillespie. Now one hop shot by Smarin denied. Second chance, Smarin at the doorstep. He scores! A diving attempt by Hammer, but not much he could do. Perfect positioning there by Smarin, and it's 8-6 edge. Three defenders now back deep for the Beerwolves in front of Hammer off the draw. Lawrence places it off the scoop against the boards. Lawrence to the far side of the floor with 9 to go in the second period. Already 14 goals scored in the game. Smarin behind the back shot. Save made by the 99 again of Hammer. Mackey up the boards. Back to the middle and wide now. With the next piece of the puzzle in the 76 of Winters, who tried to play it off the glass there, but he can't either. Nelson up the floor. Intercepted again by Mackey. And now Mackey pulls it in. Mackey a shot. Save made. And Eric Young again stands strong. Young to Glemser. Glemser up the floor. Shot. They score! Once again, Jack Glemser, as he now adds his third of the day, the first player to reach the hat trick total. 8:10 to play in the second, and Glemser's on the board for a third time. We're still not even at the halfway point of this game. We have 15 goals scored. 9-6 the Edge lead. Contact there as an Edge offensive player almost went down. That was the number 9 of Bailey Orhosky, who recovered his footing. And now Richard Nelson plays it. Nelson gives to DeFinis. DeFinis backpedaling around the blue line. And now to Smarin. Smarin thought about an opening but couldn't find it in time. Now Smarin kicks out wide, goes off the stick with Gillespie. Gillespie off the far wall, plays it. Still with hard contact there against the far glass, and now Gillespie backpedaling, can't get a shot off. It's a violation against the Edge offense. But the Edge actually will keep possession here, is fighting for the ball on the other end of the floor was Rob Foster, but he was unable to bring it in. And so Richard Nelson and the Edge will resume play. Nelson up the floor once more. Smarin off the mark, rebounded nearly by the 91 of Smarin. The shot was taken by DeFinis, excuse me. Smarin nearly on the rebound, but Nelson now gives to DeFinis. DeFinis to the middle. It's wide of the cutting Gillespie. Rebound nearly in the stick of Smarin, who plays it beneath the clock now. Shot clock down to 10. Smarin through contact to the far end. Shot. They score! Smarin again assists a Jack Glemser goal. The 4th time today. The number 4 has found the board, and it's a 4-goal lead. Timeout called by the Beerwolves, and likely a much needed one, as there's been 6 goals scored by the Edge in this period in the first 8 minutes and 49 seconds of play again in the second frame. 16 goals scored through a total of less than 24 minutes. We'll see if this high-flying offensive pace continues into the third. 30 minutes in the books, 15 more to come in Brazil Rink in this third period. Time ticking beneath, 15 minutes now in the third. 11-9 the scores. The Beer Wolves have scored back-to-back to cut the deficit in half from 4 now to 2. Pass picked off, though. The Edge is streaking toward the net. It's Smarin who spins. Good defense played by the Beer Wolves, though, and they'll come away unscathed as Last Brigada is able to bail out a wayward pass and play good defense there on Smarin, who had a one-on-one opportunity. We stay at 11-9. Bonner plays it for the Beer Wolves. Through the main circle, Bonner. Thought about stepping back, now instead comes forward with a step and a half. Dropping it to the 91 of Rob Foster. Foster winds and fires, save made, rebound kicked out, and it's played back to the edge. Looking for room to work with Spencer Homan, and Homan are now backpedaled toward the bench. And he gives to Andrews, who brings it up the floor. Gillespie is open. Gillespie has opportunity on net. Save made again. Hammer in for a third period of work. He makes another good save. O'Hagan back in net for the Edge, after Young didn't have to see much of a challenge in the end of that second period. Mackey to Ensley. Ensley drives, thought about a shot, but I thought better of it. Checked into the boards, it's Polchini, and now bringing about a call against the Edge here. A hand is out for a delayed call. Polchini tracking it down to the corner, can't scoop it twice, and the rebound back to Mackey instead. Mackey a shot again, save made. And now the rebound played by the Edge, as Tanner Mearns will be the last person to touch it before the delayed call comes to fruition. With the second penalty today on the Edge, this one likely against Polchini for a cross check, but we'll get the official word in just a moment. A little bit of some discussion there for that play as well. So it is a 2-minute minor on Max Polchini for pushing from behind. That brought about some contact. And so a chance here for the Beer Wolves to bring the score back within 1. They're 1 for 1 on man up so far. They've also scored 2 goals and 6 on 5s during delayed calls to wash out penalties. Winters now plays it around the blue line. Winters up the floor, winding up, firing his Bonner. His shot is loose, ball loose in the crease and in. It gets in behind O'Hagan, and the Beer Wolves are now back within 1 to make it 11-10. Not quite sure who will get the credit there, as there was a scramble of 6 in front of the crease. One of them knocked the ball home. It may have been Winters, so we'll pencil him in. But regardless, it's an 11-10 ball game. Off the ensuing face-off, Lawrence in the Edge on 2 hops in midair. Now play it up the floor. Towards they go to Kupski. No, Kupski has it go wide off his stick. Where it's now played back to the Beer Wolf offense. Winters to the main circle. Much to the displeasure here of the Edge bench, as Winters patrolling the outskirts of said circle, looking for help, and he finds it here in Mackey. Mackey for Bonner. Bonner dropping backwards behind the back pass play, looking for Mackey. It's wide of him. Shot clock down to 5. The Edge defense looking to hold off for a few more seconds, and they will do just that. It's another scoop toward the net. Is sent wide, and it'll bring about a violation against the Beer Wolves. 11-10 the score. The Edge looking to quell a sudden surge of offensive momentum for the Beer Wolves. Play resumes now with Smarin to the far end of the floor. Nelson to the middle to finish, had it in and out of his stick, where it's played to Sean Walsh, looking to return the favor to the finish. The ball is still fought for, and now played behind the net. The Beer Wolves pry it away. Up the far end of the floor they go now with Mackey. Mackey to the middle. Ensley, Bobble had to go out of his stick into the corner. Mackey looking for a return favor. Ensley holding himself. Ensley over the top of the net. It is in for a goal, and we are tied in the third period. Mac Ensley over the top shoulder of O'Hagan to even the score at 11-all. A 4th goal, and they all progressively get more impressive. 4 straight scored by the Beer Wolves to even things here in the third period. 11-11 now the score in a high-paced back-and-forth affair. The Edge has the largest lead of the day so far at 4 goals. There was a 10-6 meeting. Bonner around the blue line. Now to the far side, he returns the favor to Haney, who now feeds Winters. Winters, shot, save made O'Hagan. Rebound kicks way out, and it's played to Bonner. Bonner against the midline. Pump fake to behind the back play, but keeps it himself. Bonner to Ensley. Ensley to the far side of the floor now. Haney pulls it in. Haney pump fakes a top shoulder pass as well. Now recovers, fires in toward the net. It's wide of everything, and played by Okupski off the boards. Less than 9 to go in the third period. Okupski against the far wall. Through the circle. Okupski has shots. Kicked out. The ball up in the air and off the ceiling where it is blown dead. And so possession will stay here with the Edge following the Beer Wolves' last touch. The Finnis now around the blue line. Peels back. Awaits help. The Finnis to Hasdorn. Hasdorn winding up, firing high and wide. Back to the Edge. Shot on target, and they score. The Edge have an answer. It was played off the far wall by Okupski, who finishes the job. And Okupski is able to get his first goal of the game late in the third. First goal in the third period for the Edge. We now lead 12-11. Ball sent backwards and played again by Okupski. Okupski to the Finnis. The Finnis winds up, shot pushed high and wide. The rebound up in the air, loosened the lights, and hit the ceiling, they say as well. This time, last touch Edge. 7:40 now in the third period. Hand is up here. Is that just for a reset? No penalty. Didn't quite see if it was up in the past, but it was not, so we stay 5-on-5. 7:25 to play in the third. Haney drives, shooting, pushed wide of O'Hagan. So a slightly late reaction, so he's able to be bailed out there. Foster in the middle, a shot again, saved by O'Hagan. Makes a good one there on one hop. One hop pass now, he finds the 62 of Spencer Homan. Homan spins backward and tosses to Andrews. Andrews feeds Nelson. Less than 7 to go now in the third. 1 goal lead for the Edge. Nelson to the far circle. Nelson driving, shooting wide, and the rebound up in the air and over the scorer's table out of play. Beer Wolves will begin things here with number 92, Ricky Morum, in the first pass play. Morum to Ensley. Ensley, a shot wide of O'Hagan, hit the official, loose beneath the net now, and it's played by the Edge. It's Molchini in space. Molchini will pick it out to the far wall, played on 2 hops and scooped by the 28 of Mearns. Mearns to Nelson. Nelson to Glemser now. Glemser wants a 6th, pushed it wide. The rebound all the way back past the waiting arms of Nelson and scooped by Hasdorn. Shot clock to 10. Hasdorn needs to hurry. Double pumping, now fires a little bit high for Glemser. Off the top of his stick. Glemser still has a chance for it. Has it. Shooting. Passing now. It says shooting now. Oh, it's firing a shot that was denied. On the far side was Glemser. Second opportunity is again saved off the far wall. Out of play. Last touch, Beer Wolves. And that's great work by Glemser to find Richard Nelson in the far corner and get a shot on goal to get things reset for the Edge. Now time to work with here is Hasdorn around the blue line will play it. Hasdorn, shot, save made, rebound loose, fought for, up in the air, now down to the floor, still on the ground, another side wants it, shot on target, and they score! Through contact, the hand is up, this likely will be washed off, and it's a good Edge goal to make it 13-11. And Richard Nelson adds his second goal of the day. His first is the very first goal of the day for the Edge back at the 7:12 mark of the first. They're was no penalty on the play. It was just ruled a good goal. So Mac Ensley in between the blue line and main circle. Ensley with hard contact plays it to Winters. Good defense by Okupski. Winters a shot though. He scores through contact. We'll see if anything comes from the said contact. Okupski laid a shoulder in, but Winters makes it 13-12. And yet again, coming through in the clutch for the 4th goal of his day. .4:15 to play in the third. Back to a 1-goal affair at 13-12. Ball again up in the air for grabs. The Edge fighting for it. Scooped off the turf and played back to Andrews. Andrews a shot. It is wide and off the back netting out of play. Mackey to resume action here for the Beer Wolves with less than 4 to go now in the third period. Into crunch time. Mackey has Haney, but instead finds Winters. Winters between the circles. Winters looking for Mackey on one hop. It's now 2. It's wide of him. Ball loose for Bonner. Bonner looking to scoop it against the far wall, against the Edge bench. Bonner with contact. Hand is up, and Bonner will let the penalty come about. And are they going to say it's against Bonner? Bonner now ushered off. Maybe another whistle now after the play. And a lot of confusion here as Bonner appears to have the initial penalty, but we'll see if the Edge got one as well to possibly even things. So counteracting penalties here as Bonner got 2 minutes for butt ending, but the Edge bench as well will get a 2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike conduct. So we'll go 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and it's a big 2 minutes. Only 3 remain in the third period. 63 seconds separate penalty clock and game clock. The shot clock at a fresh 30 as the Beer Wolves will keep possession here. To Winters in the main circle from Haney. Winters shot. Blocked down, didn't quite make it to Young, who's now back in net. Now recovered by the Edge, streaking toward the net are the Edge, charging in, shot, save made. An opportunity there late from Tanner Mearns, who took hard contact against the glass as well, back to his feet, and Okupski plays it now into the far corner. Okupski directs traffic with 2.5 to go in the third. Okupski to Nelson, to DeFinis. DeFinis to Okupski. In the near circle, Okupski. Between them now, down low, shot, save, rebound loose between the legs of Haney. Popped up in the air, DeFinis recovers, fires, it is wide. The rebound again loose behind the net, and now played by Frank Haney with 2 to go in the third. We stay 4-on-4 for 60 more seconds. Ensley between the circles again along the near side. Ball jarred loose, taken away by Okupski. 2-on-2 for the Edge. Okupski to the middle, it's wide, it's unable to pull it in with Spencer Homan. Homan hits the floor, recovered, and now pulled away by the Beer Wolves. Streaking into the net with a 2-on-1. Side on one hop to Ensley. Scoops it, can't squeeze it. And the rebound's toward the net, but played by Winters. Winters back across the main line, 30 to go on the penalty clock. Shot, save, rebound kicked out, all the way back off the far glass. Recovered by Winters. Into the far circle, Winters. Driving in, firing one wide of Young. The rebound is still contested. Shot clock to 6 into 5. Stick is loose. That's a Beer Wolves. And now played by Okupski. Minute 17 to go in the third. Okupski with 10 to go in the 4-on-4. Out wide to Nelson. Back to Okupski. Okupski now driving in. Opportunity in front. They say it was in the crease, and Hasdorn nearly had an early dagger, but it is denied there with 1:05 to go in the third. The 4-on-4 will come to an end here, and it now is officially washed off. 5-on-5 for the final 60. Mackey back to Winters. Pardon me, Ensley. 55 to go in the third. Ensley winds and fires it, saved by Young. Clutch save for the Edge goaltender. Young up the floor. Going to the far side of things now. Dave Anderson with contact. Hand is up. And timeout was the call. 43.3 to go in the third period. The ball was jarred loose as the timeout was called. So appeal is coming from the Beer Wolves side, but likely to no avail. 43.3 to play in regulation time. The Edge nursing a 1-goal lead, 13-12 the score. .3 ticks to the clock remaining in regulation time. 13-12, the Edge lead, and they will have the ball with 24 on the shot clock. So still time for the Beer Wolves, not needing to force a steal here. They can get 19 seconds of action if they're able to just force a violation. Smarin with pressure up against the Beer Wolf bench. Contact up high, and just little enough time to avoid a penalty there. Smarin has the ball jarred loose and now played again as the Finnis bails him out. Shot clock to 8 to 7. The Finnis in the main circle. The Finnis. Game clock to 22. Looking for Hasdorn. Hand is up. Penalty coming. Timeout now called by the Beer Wolves. A 21.7 to play in the third period. And we'll see what the call is. Penalty will be against the Edge, a 2-minute minor for an illegal cross-check. Let's see what the Beer Wolves' strategy is here. They need a goal down 13-12. Hello everyone, welcome back to Roseau Rink for Game 2 of the Wednesday night doubleheader, as we are coming to you live following a 13-12 Edge victory in Game 1. Waiting the floor to clear here from the last game, as some players still straggling behind, as we await a battle of the blue teams. This Revolution coming in at 1-5, taking on the 3-3 Outlaws. Both teams trying to turn their seasons around here following long losing streaks. The Revolution got their first win Monday night, looking to put together back-to-back following an 0-5 start to their season. But the Outlaws, though, lost back-to-back. They began the season 3-1, now down to 3-3. Running clock to begin things here. 14:30 is where the clock will sit at the moment. Opening face-off will be between the 15 of Evan Swiker and the number 6 of Andrew Bailey, one of the top scorers for the Revolution. Off the draw sent the direction of the Outlaw defense, but it's played by Caden Hawk of the Outlaw offense. Hawk to Downey. Downey directing traffic early, and now fires out to Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan to the near side, Rosnow. Rosnow pressured down around the blue line, now scooping it as Malesio. The shot pushed wide, just off the base of the shot clock, and recovered by Beatson. Beatson off the bounce, driving in. Beatson drives, fires, a shot saved, made, rebound kicked out. Rosnow in the mix, Malesio there as well. Malesio wins the race, but not enough strength to beat out Sid Johansson. With the extra stick length in pads there, the ball not out of play though, and they'll side possession back to the Outlaws, as no one Revolution player is able to get the ball cleanly in their stick. 90 seconds gone in the opening period. The Revolution get to get a clean offensive possession here as the Outlaws with Rosnow taking it. Rosnow on target somehow, but it's saved by Sid Johansson. And the rebound back to Fulk and Co. for the Revolution. Tyler Fulk up the floor, shot is in, they score! Fulk on the feed, and Bailey starts things with a hot one just between the legs of the Outlaw starting goaltender in Mileto, I believe, to make it 1-0. Mayen, backwards pass off the top of the helmet of Aiden McKenna. And now the Outlaws are running up the floor. McKenna for Stainer, back to the middle, pressured out, but there's a one-hop shot that's high by Camden Pierce. And Johansson will watch it fall harmlessly to the floor following contact with the back nets. Revolution ball, the 1-for-1 on shots so far. Back and forth go Walton and the 77 of Riley. Now the 47 in the mix. And that's Doyle's. His shot goes wide, and the Outlaws will pull it away. Stainer will bring it up across the main line. Stainer to Rosnow, the top of the near circle. Rosnow through contact driving in, a shot denied. Didn't quite make it to the 30 of Johansson. And now the B-roll is played again. Shot saved as that went the other direction. As again the 96 of George Downey in the mix early. Now Joe Walton on the far glass. Walton backwards play, finds Scott McMillan. McMillan sliding in with a shot and a score. 2-0 Revolution as Scott McMillan puts back-to-back on the board. Less than 11 to go now in the first period. A 2-0 score going the way of the Revolution. Sullivan will play it off the contested draw. Sullivan against the far wall. Rosnow, Malesio, and the number 3 of Pierce are off the bench. Sullivan drives and thought about going toward the net, but now instead goes behind it. Checked up against the glass. Contact there. He's fighting with the number 47 of the Revolution. Well, I don't quite have my roster just yet. Shot and in the crease with Sullivan. The ball was being kept out anyway by Johansson. Now possession is sent back the way of the Revolution. Tyler Fulk across the midline. Fulk finds Bailey. Bailey spins back and he wanted a shot there between the defenders, but was unable to get a clean opening. Nicholas Cost down the main circle. Cost to Bailey. To Riley. Riley awaits help, goes cross country looking for Walton. He found him, but Walton couldn't find the ball. Second opportunity here for Walton. Driving in, shot, then kick save made up in the air, and then played by Fulk, who stumbled over Hawk. And it would be Outlaw ball going the other way. Calls for the Outlaw offense to reset the location, but it will stay with the Outlaws. Rosnow up the floor. Stainer in the main circle awaits the pass that comes down. Stainer in for Downey, over his head. Downey looking to play the recovery. He can't. Stainer now has it himself against the far glass. Sidearm pass play over the head of Rosnow. Off the far wall, back into the middle, and cutting into the crease with the number 1 of Brandon Cerrone. Revolution ball now. Cost between the blue line and main circle. Cost on a hop to the middle, a shot saved, rebound in the crease and pried away. Bennett Mileto with another good save in the early goings here for the Outlaws. Mileto with pressure on him though. McMillan can't find an opening just yet, and now he finds it. Up the floor they go. Quick touch, quick shot, and it is denied as the one of Cerrone really had a second opportunity at it. 8:45 to play in the first. 2-0 to score. Cost a shot, they score, and it's 3-0 Revolution. A hot start for the Revolution, who again looking to win back-to-back for the first time this season, to be their first 2 wins overall of the season. Sitting at 1-5, looking to keep themselves alive within the playoff picture more or less as well. We are beginning to near that time of the season. 8:05 to play in the first. 3-0 the score now, all in favor of the Revolution. Few checks there with Spiker on an underhand toss to Rosnow. Rosnow to Beatson. Beatson drives, spinning to the far side of the floor. Now back to Downey. Had a one-hop shot pushed wide. And now everything will be reset as the Revolution offense takes it away. Walton. The pass go off his stick, but instead played by Riley. No harm, no foul for the Revolution offense. Riley to Bailey. Bailey to Walton in the nearest circle. Walton through contact, held up for a moment, held up again. Walton behind the back play. Did that go in? It went off the side of the net and stays harmlessly free of Mileto. With a rebound kicked out toward Bailey, but not with enough time to get a shot off was Bailey. Now the Outlaws take it away with Rosnow going up the floor to Sullivan. Sullivan spins. Sullivan is shot, deflected and sent wide. Last touch Outlaws, I say, caught a piece of what I imagine would have been the 16 of Portnoy. He was the only Outlaw in the area. Cost around the blue line. The top of the circle. Cost spinning, shooting, and scoring! Back-to-back for Nicholas Cost, and it's 4-0 Revolution. .6:05 to play in the first. Now 4-0 to score. Off the draw, taken away by Hawk. Hawk to the nearest circle. Hawk dropping one off, pass wide, rebound by McMillan up against the scorer's table, and now back toward Hawk. Hawk to Stainer. Stainer to Downey. Downey spins. Downey passes the defender, and on goal, a shot saved made by Johansson. Rebound attempt is knocked away. 2 big saves by Sid Johansson. Can he get a third? He can't. Philip Malesio from the blue line is able to beat Johansson, who couldn't quite find the ball. And an unfortunate break for the Revolution goaltender, but a good one from Malesio, who has the Outlaws on the board with 5.5 to play in the first. Timeout was called by the Revolution, I believe. 5:31 to play in the first period. 4-1 the score for the team leading the Revolution. Still a discussion here between the Outlaws and the officials. We near the end of the timeout. It's Stainer. Good conversation there in the far corner of things. 5:31 to play in the first. It's a 4-1 lead for the Revolution, who just had their lead cut down to 3, following a goal by Malesio. Now Mayen off the draw. Mayen to the far circle. A shot on target again. Saved Johansson. Rebound kicked out. Shuffled back towards Johansson, who scoops it. And he's called for an in and out. Possession will stay for the Outlaws. In is Beatson, cutting, shooting wide off the far wall. Rebound to Rosnow. Rosnow dips and dives and sends one wide to Cerrone, who tracks it down off a hop along the far glass. Cerrone. To Stainer, looking for Beatson again off his stick. It kept in play. Off the bottom of the bench in front of the Revolution side. Pickpocketed to his Beatson. 6-yard loose as well as the ball. Daly takes it. Pass in front. Opportunity and a save made by Mileto. And may have found iron as well. Bailey in the mix. He goes wide back to Riley. Riley on a hop now has to scoop up a loose change. He does so there. Over to Walton. Walton to pass wide. Recovered by Cost, who wanted a hat trick in the first period. But he couldn't find that one. It is that one between the legs of Mileto and out of play. Nearly out of play, but against the far wall and kept in play as the Revolution offense is back on it. Scott Jackson now across the midline. Jackson, a pass high and pulled in by Freer. Freer off the mark. Rebound back towards Stainer. Now Stainer will slow the pace. Back to the middle for Rosnow. Rosnow returns the favor to Stainer. To Sullivan. To Portnoy. Portnoy returning. And Stainer on the dip. Stainer, shot, save made, up in the air, off the ceiling. Last touch Revolution to Johansson, though, another good save. Outlaw ball, Sullivan, checked, ball jarred loose, and played by Portnoy. Portnoy shot, save made Johansson. A rebound to the corner. Now on 2 hops, the Revolution will get back to work here as Tyler Fulk scoops it. Fulk, the near circle, pressured by Beatson, a pass high and wide to the middle looking for McMillan. Over his head, played by Stainer. Stainer in on goal himself, a shot, save made. Rebound went wide to Beatson, instead played by Fulk for the Revolution. Fulk and Malesio tied up. Malesio pries it away. Malesio to the middle, Beatson an opportunity on net. Denied again. Sid Johansson, another strong save. Only 1 goal allowed so far in 12 minutes, and he's been extra busy in those 12. Bailey to the middle, shot, save made, loosened the pads and pried away by Mileto. Mileto. On the dish, she finds Niall Bailey. Bailey to Sullivan. Sullivan, Downey is shot wide, recovered on a hop by Beatson. Beatson to the middle, Downey, kick save again by Sid Johansson. Sullivan into the corner. Sullivan to the middle, Downey opportunity, he couldn't get it in. And the rebound played against the far wall. Sullivan again in the mix, recovered by the Revolution though. 2 to go in the first period. Andrew Bailey to the main circle. Bailey feeds Freer, and Freer returns fire to Walton. To Riley now. Riley pivots, shot, save Mileto, rebound back to Freer, a shot, again kicked out. It was blocked down by Downey. Back to Bailey here. Bailey a shot, kick save made. Looking to go 5-hole, but getting a foot pad on it there was Mileto. And he finalized the door closing with his stick in front. Now Sullivan winds and fires and scores! Brian Sullivan from the far circle makes it a 4-2 ball game, and now back-to-back score by the Outlaws. Less than a minute to go now. Whistle sound on the ensuing face-off. It's against the Revolution, so the Outlaws are the benefit of the doubt here with Portnoy. Portnoy with the far circle. Shot saved. Rebound loose in the crease and kept out barely by Johansson. Johansson gets away with one there as that one was in no man's land for a moment. The Revolution one less opportunity to get a 5th goal on the board in the opening frame. Sullivan in the main circle. 20 seconds now to go in the game. In the first period. On the game clock. Freer around the blue line. 12 and 10 off the clock. Freer back to Bailey. Bailey driving. Bailey shot. Save Mileto. Rebound loose up in the air. Pulled down by the Outlaws. And a timeout will be called. It appears. There may be a penalty, but a stoppage. And it will be a penalty here in the dying seconds. So Philip Molesso gets a 2-minute minor for holding issued to his name in the dying seconds of the first period. It'll carry over into the second, a full 2-minute minor in a 15-minute frame. 4-2, the Revolution leads the first 15, though. Off the ensuing face-off here, beginning the second period. It's Outlaw ball will be down a man for the next 100 seconds. But it's taken away by Riley. An opportunity here to cash in early, and it's denied by Bailey. Or denied from Bailey, I should say. Denied by the Outlaw defense. As Krzyzewski and friends take it away. Krzyzewski looking for Downey, but unable to find Tim. Nearly recovered by Stainer, but the ball will fall harmlessly down as play whistled dead with 1:20 remaining in the Outlaw man down. It seems like things might be evened out here. A second penalty will be assessed. Two-minute bench minor for an illegal sub goes against the Outlaws. And so it will be 5-on-3 in favor of the Revolution for the next minute. If they're unable to score, we'll go 5-on-4 for 44 seconds following. And Bailey will begin things here for the Revolution offense, looking to go up by a 3-goal margin. Walton the shot saved, made second chance again denied. Mileto back-to-back saves as Nicholas Cost again denied. Checking to the boards there. As possession will stay with the Revolution. Early contact from an Outlaw. Less than 40 to go on the penalty clock, at least in the 5-on-3. Now to Riley, a shot wide. Rebound back toward Cost, deflected up in the air, played by Walton instead. Walton back to Riley, a shot again denied. And a rebound back around Cost and wide of Walton as well as Bailey and all the way down to Sid Johansson. 20 to go on the man up, 2 men up, I should say, for the Revolution. A minute left to go on the 1 man up at least. Cost, shot, save made, rebound on the outskirts of the crease and pulled away by the Outlaws, who look to kill the remainder of the 5-on-3. Check there from Cost up against the glass. Ball again jarred loose and sent in toward Johansson. 5-on-3 killed. We're down to 5-on-4 for the next 40 seconds. So still not out of the woods yet are the Outlaws. Opportunity in front. McMillan denied by Mileto. And rebound played by Hawk. Caden Hawk with speed. Hawk drives, shot, score! Caden Hawk makes it 4-3 with a man down goal. And the Outlaws, following 3 straight scores, are back within 1. The rest of the penalty will now come off, and a 5-on-3 against the Outlaws will all even out to a 1-goal Outlaw margin as they score the lone man down goal and do not concede one across both penalties. Walton to the far boards. Walton driving around the blue line. Walton returning the favor to Freer. And Freer giving it right back to Riley now, who finds Sullivan. Pardon me, Scott Jackson, wrong 88, as Jackson gives it back to Riley, shot clock to 10. Riley to the middle, wide to Freer, as played off a hop against the far glass, knocked away, still in space, and scooped up by Swiker. Swiker driving, Swiker a shot, save, made, rebound loose, back to Swiker for a second opportunity. Swiker behind the defense, and again wide. 2 shots on target for the usual face-off man and Evan Swiker, and neither one seeming to go. 11:15 to play in the second now. Bailey through the blue line, and now to McMillan. McMillan pressured out, contacted the shoulder, and fires to the far side. Back to McMillan on a 1-hop shot, saved by Mileto. Deflected high off the ceiling, and out of play, last touch, Outlaws. Shot clock is reset. McMillan to begin things. He does so with a pass to Cost. Cost a shot, save made, caught the pad of Mileto. And a rebound back toward Bailey. Bailey a shot, again deflected by Mileto. And a rebound again to Cost along the near side. End to end they go. Cost to Bailey. Bailey between the circles, pressured on a 1-hop, looking for Cost, can't, and now Cost recovers. Walton winds and fires, and it's deflected wide of Mileto. Moving back to the Outlaws, and here they come. Outlaw opportunity. In is Bailey. Hayes scores. Niall Bailey has evened the score at 4-all. 4 in a row put home by the Outlaws. And this continues the Revolution scoring drought of 11 minutes. The ensuing draw is Mayan, a sidearm toss for Hawk. Up the floor goes Portnoy for 5 in a row, and they get it. It's Portnoy, and it's an Outlaw lead. Malesio, Sullivan, Hawk, Bailey, and Portnoy now in the second. Those last 3 coming in the last 5 and change minutes. Backwards pass play. What a play by Mayan off the draw. Shot quickly blocked down. As right off the bench, though, will be Roz now. And the Outlaws have a second chance at it here. Roz now against the far wall. To the middle for Beatson. Wide of him. Played by Sinner behind the back shot. It was saved by Johansson. But a good look there from Sinner as it was on target. Chasing it down with tons of speed there is Keys Hulcherman, who will go behind the net. And hand is up for a delayed call, and we'll see who this is against. So 2-minute bench minor now against the Outlaws, their third early penalty, and the Revolution will resume play here. McMillan in the middle, sidearm shot wide as Bailey tried to put it off the net. It missed him, and now played by Walton, who now fires to McMillan again, blocked down. It looks like it caught Gonzalez's shoulder. Or it's played again by McMillan. Off the net now, out of that now, Sid Johansson. The hand is up for a delayed call, and we're going to go 5-on-3 against the Outlaws for a second time already. So Johansson will retreat back to his own net, and we'll see what this penalty is. Two-minute minor for slashing against Jeff Gonzalez is the call. 5-on-3, go to Revolution again. They were unable to score in a 5-on-3, roughly the same length as this 2 possessions ago. Walton back and forth with Bailey. Bailey winds, gives, Riley in front, denied by Mileto, shuffled out, and now back to the top of McMillan. McMillan has shot it again, save made. Second opportunity is still loose outside the crease, and Mileto will pounce on it. 7:08 and ticking to play now in the second, 5-4 the lead. Mileto feeds to the far side. Less than 30 to go on the 5-on-3. The Outlaws can kill the majority of the clock. Malesio around the blue line. Backpedaling in toward the goal is off the stick of an Outlaw and off the back netting out of play. And that will give the Revolution one last chance here in the 5-on-3. Penalty clock to 10. We'll have 44 seconds of 5-on-4 action following. Scott Jackson to Riley. Riley to the middle. Wide of Jackson. Back to Jackson in front, and no shot got off. Katie the Hawk streaking into the corner. Now prying it loose is the number 8 of Paul, or number 6, pardon me, of Bittenbender, who fired a pass wide. Rosnow and the Outlaws holding for the moment. 25 to go on the penalty clock. Rosnow driving. Rosnow, big check. Ball jarred loose and then played by Walton and co. Last chance here in the 5-on-4 for the Revolution. Walton knocked down. Hand is up, and it looks like we'll have a 5th penalty against the Outlaws. Clock stops at 3 to go on the 5-on-4, and we'll go 5-on-3 for a 3rd time technically. .5:35 now in the second. 5-4 the score. 5-on-4 for a fresh 2 minutes now for the Revolution. They're 0 for 2 on penalties. Looking to go up a man and capitalize for the first time today. Walton back and forth with McMillan. McMillan returning the favor and getting Riley in on the mix. Riley out wide, and now back to McMillan. The doorstep fired it wide of Mileto, pardon me, and the rebound's all the way back to Johansson. Johansson scoops. Up the floor they go. Riley a shot, and it was off the mark, and they say no save. And it'll be a violation that goes against the Revolution. Outlaw ball here, Downing in front, denied by Johansson. Rebound to the far wall, played by Bailey. Halfway through the remaining 5-on-4 clock are the Outlaw defense. Bailey to Cost, they score! A man-up goal for the first time today for the Revolution. It took them 3 tries, but it is on as it's a 5-5 ball game as Nicholas Cost gets his 3rd point of the day. That ends a Revolution scoring drought of 17 minutes as the Outlaws had scored 5 straight in that span. 4:22 to play in the second period. 5-5 the score. A timeout called by the Revolution. Back to even strength to that penalty on the board, washed off to the latest Revolution goal scored by Cost, his third of the day. Hat trick for the Revolution offense. And a push from behind there going against the Revolution, and so the Outlaws will keep possession here as Spiker takes the call. Alessio to Portnoy and to Beatson along the far wall. Beatson in front of the Thomas Taylor sign. Beatson given to Downey. Downey, chance in front, diving in the crease, but in so were the Outlaws. And then waiting to see the number there on the shooter. That was the 16 of Portnoy. Opportunity on the other end for the Revolution. Shot save made. Rebound back to Freer. Ball loose still. Freer's sidearm tosses for Bailey. Is knocked down and played instead by the Outlaws harmlessly. Adam Culp takes it. Culp picked off. Back the other way come Cost. And the Revolution a shot save. Rebound loose. Scooted in toward the net. And again in and out went Mileto. Shot again. Save made. Ball still loose in the corner. And now taking it away is Halterman. Bryce Cash now in net for the Outlaws, so he made that last save. He came in during the last timeout. Shot save made, rebound again loose, and pulled away by the Revolution harmlessly in Johansson. Johansson up the floor, finding Bailey. Bailey feeds, pumps, shot, did not come as Freer had it in his stick but bobbled it in just enough time to lose control. Riley. The near circle to McMillan. Shot clock to 10. McMillan in front of the Revolution bench, holding, firing, and is wide. Deflected back towards Scott Jackson, who scoops it, but Jackson couldn't get on it himself either, and the shot clock is now up on the Revolution offense. Outlaw ball heading the other direction with 2:20 to go. Pump fake back from Rosnow as he and Cerrone exchange looks. Cerrone comes off. Rosnow charges in. Rosnow backpedaling now, finding the 16 of Portnoy. Portnoy off speed, toss toward Downey, puts one wide off the net. And the rebound back toward Rosnow off the glass. Rosnow to Alessio, big check there by Alessio. Recovered by Portnoy, who fires a shot that was saved. And the rebound back toward Downey. Fresh 30 for the Outlaw offense. Alessio, chance in front, save initially, and it does stay out. As able to close the door there was Sid Johansson. But a big check taken to the shoulder of Alessio. A minute 40 now to play in the second period. A much lower scoring game than game one. Only 10 total goals here, 5-5 the score. All of the goaltending today has looked excellent across Cash, Mileto, and Johansson, especially in net for the Revolution. Rosnow driving, shot, they score! The announcer's jinx strikes again. Pinoy Rosnow puts the Outlaws in front. It's 6-5 with 1:15 to play in the second. Final minute of play here in the second. Can Bailey answer things for the Revolution? Shot blocked down by Cash, and the rebound to Gonzalez. Gonzalez between the circles against the far boards. Gonzalez, a Stainer in the main circle. Stainer. The middle, ball loose, looking for Sullivan. Sullivan forced to track it down, up against the glass. A second Outlaw in the mix there. Stainer waiting in the wings as well. And the Outlaws take it away. Checking to the board there. Sliding and shooting was Portnoy. The rebound off the wall. Back to the Revolution. 23 and 22 off the clock in the second period. One last chance here. Save made by Cash, and he's on the rebounds. Outlaws trying to pry it away here as Cash shuffled it toward Beatson. Swatted at by a Halterman. Sent back to McMillan. Game clock to 7. McMillan to the middle, over the top. Denied by Cash. Never mind, it went through. I thought Cash had closed the door, but it's a sliding attempt by McMillan, and the buzzer sounds to end the second period as a 6-6 game heading to the final 15. Looks like a penalty will come here against the Revolution as a whistle sounded during the break before all the players were off the floor. A minute 7 and ticking to play in intermission, and we will go 6-6 into the final 15 in the third period. We're back for the final 15 minutes of play here, regulation time. A scoring change to announce that happened during the break. The goal from McMillan is now waved off as he had not left his feet there in the crease behind the net. So it was a 6-5 ball game in favor of the Outlaws still. The last second goal is disallowed. And the Outlaw offense following the face-off win will get back to work here with Gonzalez taking it up the floor to begin things. Gonzalez nearly finding Sullivan. It's past him into the corner and now around behind Johansson. Sullivan pries it loose. Sullivan over to Beatson, a sliding save made by Johansson. The rebound back toward Beatson, who scoops it in front of the Revolution bench this time. Beatson around the near circle, out to Sullivan. Winds up shooting and save made. And the rebound kicked out to the corner and played again by Beatson. Beatson shooting again, a save again made. 3 saved by Sid Johansson on 3 Beatson shots. Over the top, Gonzalez. Could not finish. Rebound loose in the crease. Over the top again. And a 5th save by Sid Johansson. Revolution offense looking to complement the goaltending on the previous possession with Walton. Across the main stripe, Walton feeding McMillan. McMillan past Jackson into the waiting stick of Riley, who fires a shot. It's deflected wide. Caught a piece of Cash, who remains in net for the Outlaws. And so Hawk against the far boards will begin things. Hawk grinds, fires, and puts it just wide. Rebound one hop off the glass in front of us. They'll stay in play and head to the corner. Portnoy scoops it. The midline go to the Outlaws. Portnoy to the far boards. Sullivan plays it. Sullivan driving and now losing it and taking it away is Nick Cost. Can Cost get a 4th? Shot, save Cash. One and done go the Revolution on their offensive possession. Less than 13 to go now in the third. Wayward pass from Cash over the head of Beatson. And the Revolution will get a second chance at it here. Bailey the first look to Walton and back to Bailey. Bailey along the far wall, driving in, spinning, shooting. McMillan, he scores the sidearm shot. 6-6 the score. McMillan does get his equalizer, and we are back at 6-all with 12:15 to play in the third. Less than 12 to go in the third. Alessio plays to Roz now. Around the blue line, along the outskirts of the circle, it's Raz now. Raz now driving to the near circle and spinning free in space. Raz now back, looking for Racine, couldn't find him. And now he plays it on 2 hops. Dan Racine to the far side. Alessio sprawling out, save made. Again, Johansson is able to kick it out. Here comes Walton to shot. They score back to back for the Revolution to make it 7-6. .45 now in the third. 7-6 to score. Off the draw, charging forward, passing to Freer with a shot wide. The rebound played off the far wall. Riley couldn't scoop it. Here comes Stainer and co. Stainer had the ball go behind him, where it's played instead by Freer. Freer to the near circle. Freer into the corner, giving chases Niall Bailey. And Bailey will now pry it loose. Bailey to the main line, looking for Stainer again over his head, loose into the corner, and Stainer will play it off his stick again. Stainer looking to chase after it, can't get it there, lost the ball again for a third time, where it's played by Riley instead. Riley a big check, ball jarred loose. Good bounce back by the Outlaws. Ground ball feed to Beatson. Less than 10 to go in a 1-goal game. Beatson pivoting, in space, now kicking it out to Portnoy. Back to Beatson, and over his head, sidearm shot, they score! Redemption for Stainer, and the score evens up at 7-all. .10 to play in the third. Off the draw, it's Outlaw possession with Mayen. Mayen gives to Rosnow. Rosnow spins, passes, taking a shot there. A physical one here as a penalty will go against Fulk. Sullivan took hard contact, and the Outlaws will go a man up here. 6-on-5 out of the net is Cash. Portnoy around the blue line. Portnoy gives, Beatson, winding, firing, pass, shot probably is wide. Second chance is also wide. That one caught a pad of Johansson though. And now bring about the call as it's played in the air by the 6th of Bailey. Maybe the first penalty of the day against the Revolution. We've been overall well disciplined. So 35 of Tyler Fulk gets 2 minutes for an illegal cross check. 8:15 to play in the third, now 7-7. Rosnow up and down the circle. Beatson connects as well. Beatson, Portnoy. Rosnow to Portnoy. Portnoy on target, deflected wide. Rebound back toward Portnoy, past him, and all the way down toward Bryce Cash. Cash scoops and resets. He feeds Downey through the main circle. Downey shot wide of Johansson. Rebound back toward Downey, but played instead by Riley. Contact there as Sutter stepping and lofting one to Riley now. The shot wide. And the rebound played again by Portnoy. To Beatson. Beatson on target. Save made. Walton on the bounce. Blue line to blue line goes Walton. 7.5 to play in the third. A little bit behind Bailey was the pass, but Bailey pulls it in. And out over and back called against the Revolution as the ball hit beyond the halfway line. And that'll go against the Revolution offense. Alessio plays it for the Outlaws. Shot saved, looking to go 5-hole on Johansson, but he eats it up well. 7-10 now in the third. Outlaw ball with Bailey against the far glass. Bailey gives from McMillan. With room to work with. Scott McMillan streaking in toward the net. McMillan Beneath the clock now. Sidearm toss to Bailey. Bailey shot wide. Rebound back in the middle and then played again by Sullivan, who lost it. Looking to feed number 9 of Brady Hawk, who now scoops it for a second time. Hawk to Rosnow, and a timeout is called by the Outlaws with 6:33 to play in the third period. 7-all the score. We're into crunch time in game 2 as well. We had a 13-12 affair in game 1, a little bit lower score, but just as exciting in game 2. Back in action here with 6.5 to play in the third. 7-all the score. Chance in front here. Downey. Save made. Second chance. It's in. And the Outlaws are jumping in front for an 8-7 score as Downey at the doorstep cashes in for his 13th point of the year. He breaks the tie with Malesio for the 10th most in the league. And it's a 1-goal affair in favor of the Outlaws. Off the draw, perfect scoop by Mayen, who then feeds to Keys Halterman. Halterman, Rosnow, Sullivan, and waiting on a second touch. Sullivan holding, now back to Rosnow. Between the circles, Kenari Rosnow spins free, and a sidearm toss again for Halterman. In front of the Revolution, bench Halterman, Sullivan, a shot, stayed, made, rebound, none, as Johansson will hold. Timeout called by the Revolution here with 5:19 to play in the third. It's an 8-7 lead for the Outlaws. Off the ensuing timeout stoppage, it is Bailey who fires a pass to the far side and wide at the target. The rebound back toward Walton. Walton around the main circle. Walton kicks, costs, shot, save. Rebound back towards Swiker. Swiker swatting at it, has the ball loose in the corner, up in the air. It went, and it's pulled down by Bailey again. Less than 5 to go in regulation time. Bailey behind the net, and the shot clock will expire on the Revolution offense. Here's Stainer. The far side of the floor, Stainer drops, or it's played by Portnoy. Portnoy around behind the net now. He gets the return feed. Shot, save, made, rebound loose, and knocked away from harm's way as Malesio is forced to chase it down right in front of the Revolution bench. Malesio to Portnoy to Stainer. Stainer back and knocked away as cutting through the defense was the 6 of Bittenbender. And now a violation there against the Revolution gives the Outlaws a fresh 30. Camden Pierce between in the circles. Pierce spinning with cost and coverage. Pierce to the middle, Stainer is shot, they score! Back-to-back goals in clutch time for Joe Stainer. 9-7, the Outlaws now lead by 2. 3:20 to play in the third. 9-7 now the score. Bailey with contact sends the ball to the side where it's played on multiple hops by Freer. Misplayed a second time though. Freer slips down, lost the ball, and it's played by Cash harmlessly. Cash to Jeff Gonzalez. 3 to go in the third, and the Outlaws hang on to a 2-goal lead. They've scored back-to-back. Beatson between the blue line and main circle. Pump fakes it down. He holds himself, beaten in space. And now to Rosnow. Rosnow driving, Rosnow spinning through contact, Rosnow shooting, and they score! 3 in a row for the Outlaws, and it's a 10-7 game as Kenori Rosnow puts home a possible early dagger. Four straight goals scored by the Outlaw offense take a 3-goal lead. The Revolution nearing the 10-minute mark of their scoring drought as they come across the 9-minute mark here just before the face-off. Mayen, sidearm toss to Sullivan. Sullivan, pressure, holding for the moment. For as long as he can, Sullivan to the middle, shot, save made. Johansson again standing tall in net. Freer frees it to the midline. Freer, the side check there from Portnoy, holds and now goes to the top and Walton. Walton the shot, save made, rebound back toward Freer in the corner. Freer huts it down. Minute 45 to go in the third. Freer through contact, 2 checks from Portnoy. Freer not to the floor, ball jar loose and the Outlaws are on it. It's Caden Hawk through the near circle. Now to the main line, on the feed, Sullivan back to Beatson, wide of him. Beatson tried to play it off the wall. It's picked off before it got there, and now Walton scoops it. Walton, blue line to blue line into the face-off circle in front of us. Walton a shot, he scores! The Outlaws, the Revolution, not dead yet. They close the gap to 2, and it's 10-8 with 1:18 to play in the third. Just before the 10-minute mark of the scoring drought, 9:56 is where that clock will stop, and it's a 10-8 2-goal lead for the Outlaws. An all-important face-off here. It's sent the direction of the Outlaws, but taken away instead by Bailey and co. 3-on-3, Bailey to Walton. Walton the shot, save made by Cash. The big one it was. On a hop against the far wall, the Revolution hold it. A minute 5 to go. Riley into the corner to McMillan. McMillan sliding back and forth, a shot to Cash. It is loose in the crease and kept out. It was caught in Cash's pads for a moment, but it popped out at the very last possible second. Now the Revolution nearly on it. Cash's pads are caught in the netting, and that'll bring about an official stoppage. 48.1 to play in the third period, 10-8 the score. We'll have a face-off from just inside the Revolution offensive zone. Considering that pass stoppage for Cash in net.